Welcome back. How to make working out easier so you actually stay consistent. Now, I saw this online. Someone said this. See if you can relate to it. Just know that you're not the only one. I was motivated to start exercising more, but that only lasted a month. When things I can't control or things I can control interrupt any sort of schedule I create for myself, I just find it incredibly difficult to get back on track. And when it comes to working out, it's more I need to exercise to stay healthy kind of thing rather than something I actually enjoy doing. And honestly, I have no clue why people like feeling out of breath or have achy body and being all sweaty. It feels so difficult, even when I know I'll enjoy myself when I start it, or I'll appreciate the results if I stick with it. How do you get motivated permanently? How do I get through this? What I want to say is this is a common thing. Click like if that's something you can relate to, but you're not the only one who's going through that, and we can work to get past that together. Now, the big thing that we're looking at here, you don't need feel good motivation or to enjoy exercise to do it. It just has to match your mission, vision, and values enough to value it and actually doing it. And I talked about this in another video. The first step is setting that mission, vision, and values. Without those, you don't have a frame for prioritizing your choices. Then you're just kind of doing whatever. So I'll link that below. How to stay motivated to work out without feeling bad about yourself. And then once you decide whether or why something is important to you, which is essential, it's not a step to skip, you can build a process that makes it easier and more rewarding to be consistent. And that's what we're going to cover in this video. If it's your first time here, watch that other video. My name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance. I help business owners lose weight and feel their best without crash diets or guilt. Now, in this video, I'm talking about the focus and practice pillars of the Live Aligned method and how it applies to the situation so you can build consistency with your workout habits. You can learn it in the No Willpower Health Habit System that's linked below on YouTube. Now, just jump right in, schedule it. Knowing what to focus on is a big part of building the vision for your life, following through so it's easier to stay consistent. And the easiest way for most people to stay consistent is to schedule your plans. All right, have a time marked out that this is what you will be doing. That way it's clear. It's not like I'm going to get around to it this week a couple times, right? It's like Tuesday, 8 p.m., I'm working out. Maybe that's a little late for you, but whatever time you pick, just decide on it and schedule it. And then that's what the schedule is. Another idea here, have a program with what you will do on which days, making it clear. So it's not like I'm just going to go in the gym and see what happens, or I'm going to do a few things here and there. If you have a schedule and a program that's like, these are exercises that you're doing on Monday, these are exercises that you're doing on Wednesday, and this is what you're doing on Friday. If you have something very clear like that, then you know, like, okay, this is what's on Monday. If I miss on Monday, then there's going to throw my whole schedule off, right? So you are less likely to miss on Monday and you know exactly what you're doing when you go in there. You don't have to guess or worry or feel vague about it. It makes it very clear and it's easy to follow that way. So having a program with what you'll do on which days, another big part of success when it comes to staying consistent with your workouts. Now, something I love to point out for you here, it doesn't have to be hardcore or all or nothing. You don't have to do like high intensity interval training or join a CrossFit gym or go 7 days a week or 6 days a week. You know, it just has to be something that is sustainable for you. So when this person mentioned their fear of being achy or sweaty or out of breath, like it doesn't have to be a strenuous thing. It can just be walking 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, right? Smaller steps that are healthier than what you used to do will get you healthier results. All right. So you don't have to imagine this extreme situation and be like, well, I'm not going to do that. And then you get discouraged before you even start, right? Pick things that are realistic for you. So some examples I have here, you can walk, dance, bike, have a reasonable training program, etc. And ultimately what we're trying to do in this video is have it so things are easier and rewarding for you so you can actually stay consistent. All right. So think of those two terms, easier and rewarding, just in general. That's how you build consistency. Right. And I do want to point out that it's not like life isn't necessarily meant to be easy all the time, right? Sometimes challenging yourself can be rewarding too. That's why you see people like running 5Ks and half marathons, or like just nothing like a day of like a max effort deadlift or, doing things that you couldn't do before in any endeavor, not just in fitness, but in health or, you know, developing skills, being able to write better, playing music, learning a language, challenging yourself can be rewarding, right? And that's a big part of growth. So, all that context, background, keeping in mind when it comes to staying consistent is that you want things to be easy and rewarding. Sometimes the challenge is a big part of the reward. Now, when it comes to being consistent with your exercise plan, you want to make sure that is relevant and realistic for you. So instead of it being like an all or nothing approach or a hardcore workout plan, it just has to be based on what you want for your life. And that's why that mission, vision, and values thing is so important. So if you want to be prepared to do mountainous hikes, then your training will probably include something that supports that, right? You don't have to do other things outside of that. Or if it's just about having general heart health, then a steady walking program could be relevant and realistic for you. So it all depends on what you want. Don't just pick something up off the internet and wonder if something's wrong with you if you don't feel like doing it because it's not suited for you. And if it's not relevant and realistic, you're not going to stay consistent and then you're going to have problems. So, this relevant, realistic programming. Working with a personal trainer helps with this because they figure out what you want, why you want it, and the best way to get you there. I'm a certified personal trainer. I'd be glad to help. Leave a comment below or check out the links in the description. All right. And this is something else to add is that, like, even in like my 20 something years of working out in gym efforts, I use a program that I got from another trainer. That way I have a system that makes it easy and fun for me to work out. So I talked about this in the video of coaching yourself work, then coaches would do it. I don't even coach myself. I use another program to help me on my health journey. All right, next, let's keep going. Think big picture. What's your goal? What can you do with better health and fitness? That's going to help you determine what you want to do and why it's important to you. And that's a big part of that vision I was talking about earlier. All right. Question always comes up on the channel. What does a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams look like? Once you know this, then you can make choices that support that, and that makes your life better. And then you can live that day by day. Like it's easier to stay consistent because your exercise program builds to the life that you want, your sense of health and fulfillment, and a challenge that you find appropriate for you instead of forcing yourself to do things that aren't relevant, right? Next, we want to make it easy to do the program, the plan, the scheduled workout, anything like that. So have and prepare your clothes, know how to get to wherever you're working out, take out all the objections and obstacles that you're going to have, or as many as you can with the thorough plan. Make it super easy for you to work out. That way you don't like hit something and say like, oh, I don't feel like doing it, right? Like, or, oh, that's too hard to overcome right now, so I'm going to give up before I even start. Make it easy for yourself. Okay. Next step I have for you is when the scheduled time happens, just do it. Like when that time comes, it hits the calendar, whatever you're doing, whatever plan you have in place, when it's time to do that plan, follow through with the plan. It is that simple. And when you do that, you'll get the results that you want. Now, I did link this video below. You can do things even when you don't feel like it. That's a video I recorded earlier this week where you're talking about like you don't have to feel all happy and feel good, motivated in order to do things. You just can do things because it's the right thing to do or because you're doing it. Like if you decide to do it based on your decision rather than your feelings and doing it, that can be the difference there. All right. And then like if things go well, you have a system where it's easy and rewarding to do things that you want that are relevant to you, then you'll just do it. And that would be the end of the video. Congratulations on following through with your plans. And you can just do that consistently. However, this is real life. And I know challenges happen and you click this video because sometimes you're not able to stay consistent. If you didn't do it, if you didn't go to the gym, if you didn't follow through your workout or your walk session or anything like that, take a look at what you did instead. Think about this. Now, this is a pivotal part. Most people will get frustrated and just quit or like say they're not good enough or like internalize some other process Some people will just say, like, oh, I'll do better tomorrow, right? Don't just judge this as a failure either. You want to take your time to process it, think about what happened, assess it, look at the environments where you made the choices and how you can influence it. Overall, what I want you to do is recognize that your behavior demonstrated that the other task was more important, more urgent, easier, or more rewarding than the workout. This is big. This isn't just like theory. This is behavior science and how it applies to real life in practice. All right. So this is pretty literal what happened when you make a choice that doesn't match your goals. What you're doing is you're demonstrating that other task, you're like acting as though like it was. That's what happened. The other task is more important, more urgent, easier, or more rewarding than the workout. So that could be something like deciding not to go to the gym because you decided to sit on the couch and watch TV instead, right? It's not just about what you didn't do, it's about the choice that you actually made. Sitting on the couch to watch TV was easier and you believe it would be more rewarding than a workout. Now, this is a big thing when it comes to positive behavior support and understanding consequences. Think about this. Recognize that your behavior demonstrated that these other things were more important. The question you want to face is, was it actually more important? Probably not. And this is what happens when you have clarity on your mission, vision, and values, because you can recognize, like, okay, I said this health thing is important. Working out is important for me so I can live longer and have more energy and do the things that I want to do, right? Like that is super important. And then when you're saying other things, are you acting with the belief that, sitting and watching more TV is more important, urgent, easier, or more rewarding, then you're running into a conflict, right? So you want to be mindful of this when it comes to mission, vision, and values. That's why the other video is so helpful. All right. So once you consider this, then find ways to make or identify the other choices as less important, less urgent, harder, or less rewarding than working out. All right. So just clarifying your mission, vision, and values that can make it less important. That perspective can make a difference, the perspective shift, or you can identify, like, okay, was that actually more important? Or what caused that to be more urgent? And then how can I change that? Right. Like, is it something that I can come back to and watch later? Or is there a way to make it more challenging? Like, I don't know, move your couch out of your house. That's going to make it harder for you to sit on the couch, right? That's an extreme example, but that's one way to make it harder, right? You can get creative with how you troubleshoot and problem solve these consequences so you can actually get the results that you want, right? Or if you watched a lame episode and you're like, man, I should have just gone to work out because I didn't enjoy that, right? That is one sense of it being less rewarding, so it's easier to work out. And then on top of making the unfavorable choice harder, you can make the workout or activity more important, more urgent, easier, and more rewarding than doing anything else that you can do at that scheduled time. So any kind of interruption, you can just be like, my self value is so important and my health is so important to me that nothing else is more important. And that can elevate you to stay consistent with working out. Or if you have like a very strong sense of commitment, you can say, like, well, I set this appointment with myself and it's very urgent. Like, this is the time that I have to do it. Then that urgency elevates the workout. So it's easier because it just makes sense for you to do that, follow through with your commitments according to your values, right? Or more rewarding if you're looking forward to something. And in that workout, how you feel afterwards, the people you're going to meet there, if you have a group fitness class, anything like that, those are ways to make the workout more rewarding, easier, more urgent, anything like that. All right. So keep that in mind, something to consider, and then do this with consideration for your values. What are your values? Clarity on this makes a huge difference. Ownership, commitment, integrity, following through with what you said you'll do. Pick one and then make sure that your choices are lining up with that on a daily basis. And that's how you lead a healthy and fulfilling life. That's what the Live Aligned method is all about. Having your choices on a daily basis match the big goals that you have for yourself. So overall, that's how you make working out easier so you actually stay consistent. Make your favorite choices easier and more fun and more rewarding and more urgent, and then make your unfavorable choices harder to do. All right. And that comes with better planning. Let me know if this helps you. Leave a comment below, click like. You can subscribe if you like this kind of content where you're talking and thinking about like the mindset behind following through, making your habits consistent, anything really. This goes beyond just health coaching. This is like any change that you want to make where you have a regular schedule, how to be more consistent, same process, make it easier and more fun, and make everything else harder and less enjoyable, basically. All right. And then that no willpower health habit system is linked below. It's step by step. It'll show you exactly how to do that. Next, you can watch Beat Laziness, the deep secret behind motivation for workouts and business. This is about the identity um, that you're taking on when you focus on your values and the person that you are becoming and who you are. Once you understand this, then it's a lot easier to be consistent. I'll put that video here. That's today's message. As always, keep practicing. Peace.